We touched on how good Gilius and Jankos were yesterday. Straight out the gate, an Italy ban. Not a real surprise there.
Also, Vladimir, H2K were prepared for Schalke because they actually banned Vladimir yesterday as well in both the games. And of course, we saw a great performance from Schalke on that specific champion against Unicorns of Love. So I understand the ban. It is a champion right now who is extremely good, but also by some teams still fairly underrated. Not H2K, however, they understand. They also maybe don't feel too comfortable playing against a very good Vladimir player, and therefore they just remove it. Same for Schalke, by the way, as yesterday, just nearly rise. They actually didn't ban anything as the last ban because they had like 3 S-tier picks open. They wanted to give one over to H2K and pick 2 or to Unicorns of Love in that game. But here I do expect them to have a last ban.
All right, let's find out what that last ban will be. Rounding out H2K was a Fizz taken off the table. And the final ban will be Lucian. So removing that from Freeze, that is interesting. Freeze yesterday actually had kind of a mixed bag of performances. He was outclassed by Steelback in game 1. And then game 2, after 20-25 minutes when his team let him play, because Jankos really performed exceptional yesterday. And he's got his hands on Kindred on that first pick.
No big surprise. Nidalee being banned away, leaving Kindred as the best available jungler. But Elise and Rek'Sai are perfectly fine picks to lock in for Schalke.
It was Elise that Gilius went off on, wasn't it?
It was. And you don't have to pick it in the first rotation as Schalke. You can wait and instead get other high priority picks, which is exactly what they're doing. Braum specifically, I really like. I think he is the best of the melee supports. And it's like him and Bard are my 2 favorites right now. I have gone to the school of Crepo and I've learned all the stuff about Bard. But Braum is really, really strong, especially in this teamfight meta where he has such a high impact.
Well, let's find out if Vander wants to run the risk of that particular champion, or if it's too early in the draft. You can see Ryu chatting away, as is Prolly. And for H2K, they've got to decide what they run into Viktor. It's a pretty safe lock-in here for Fox. And with Vladimir and Rise taken off the table,
I mean,
where do they look?
There's a LeBlanc for Ryu. We've seen Lissandra being played by Nukeduck really well. Azir is perfectly fine here as well if H2K want to go very standard, want to match some of the late game team fighting. But the reason we see so much Viktor coming in as these blind picks is because he doesn't have the same amount of counters as Azir has right now. Like, Avaro's pick is really good into Azir as an example. So if you pick Azir early, you set up for that poke composition. But Viktor is just very safe overall. He can lane against basically everything and just scale into late game. Yeah. And then he will always have an impact.
Yeah, gets the point that Chaos Storm can just one-shot somebody
we love it.
When it eventually ticks. Caitlyn and Ekko locked in here for H2K. Pretty safe lock-ins. Freeze actually went for the Trap Max yesterday. Really zone control heavy, really making sure to play the lines. Unfortunately, he fell pretty far behind, so he didn't have the damage once the zone was created. And Maokai and Sivir locked in for Schalke, so they really want to run at you. They really
point and click, surprising.
Kill something in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, Schalke is the most standard generic team fighting composition we have right now in this meta. Obviously, you can then argue maybe not Sivir every time, but of course Caitlyn is picked and Lucian is banned, so she just pops up there and she works so well with Maokai and Viktor, who benefits a lot from extra mobility. So I really like the pick. I think Schalke is running a very, very good composition. A lot of tools, especially towards the late game, where H2K have a bit of a split pusher in the Ekko. Obviously not like you're going to destroy the Maokai, but you do have pressure up there in the lane. Can lock in a mid lane again, like Lissandra or LeBlanc, and play 1-3-1 comp, try and play around the big team fight of Schalke. Or you just match it and say, you know what, you want a team fight? We're going to team fight.
See if whose team fight's better.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it.
Boil down to.
That's basically it.
Who's going to get themselves into the lead? It will be an Alistar lock-in here for Vander. Once again, frontline. Once again, some team fight presence. And it will combo very well with that peel that he may want to buy some time for Freeze on Caitlyn.
Yeah, so we might see Schalke now say we want a physical damage jungler because we have Maokai top, we have Viktor mid lane. We want to smooth it out here for these big fights. So Rek'Sai and Lee Sin are the 2 options we would normally see in the jungle as physical damage dealers. We also know Gilius is a great Lee Sin player, but in the past when he's played it, we've seen him go off and be like fantastic, and then we've seen him be afraid of pulling some of the big plays. So I'm a little bit 50-50 on it, but I think with the way he played yesterday, if he can do the same and he's not afraid, Lee Sin can work for him.
There was absolutely no fear on his Elise yesterday. However,
he got like fed every kill as well, by the way. He just walked into the river and moved was like, I'm dead. Okay, here's my goal.
And I think because of that play, there we go, last second switch. So it is going to go back to the champion that allowed Gilius to pick up that Player of the Game award in the second of the series. And it will give us a fairly well-rounded composition, I feel, from Schalke. They've got some good team fights, some good pick opportunities, some good skirmish, and even wave clear to boot. This early game could be very, very impactful for both teams.
Yeah, both teams run a ton of wave clear here. Definitely not going to be one of the issues for the teams. Engage-wise, well, we have Maokai Sivir on one side, you have Ekko flanking, and then the Alistar flash engages on the other side. So both compositions kind of have a bit of everything, and we will get one of these games where we might not see 20 kills the first 20 minutes, but then once we start hitting 2 or 3 items, we get these big explosive team fights happening over and over around Dragons, around Barons. And there's great scaling, again, on both sides. I mean, I think they just kind of agreed, guys, you know what? Let's just teamfight composition straight away. No split pushing, we don't care about it. Just teamfight.
Oh, that sounds like music to my ears.
I mean, yeah. And if the play-by-play dream.
If there's something I have seen from the EU LCS 1 games today, is that there's been a lot of fights around Dragon, especially during the opening series of the day. Here's your team compositions, guys, if you have just joined us. And thank you to everybody from EU LCS 2 who has just joined us. Hashtag H2K win or hashtag S04 win. Heard a great question from the Splice Boys earlier saying, should there be a new hashtag? Hashtag spy tie, for example, because they've had 2 1-1 results.
Yes, maybe. You think it's going to be a tie from game 1?
Hey, you never know. It is now a result that can actually happen.
We've had a few, but also some 2-0s.
I absolutely love the energy. Thank you guys here in the arena. Unfortunately, there is a quick pause as one of the game clients has crashed on load-in. We will get them to reset that quickly and jump back in. And I didn't actually see which skin Steve is running because I hope it is the football Maokai skin.
Not the cat skin?
No, not when...
the crazy cat lady Maokai?
No, I've had enough of the right meow for meow. But we'll see if anybody's going to run it later.
That was sad, Trevor.
Yeah, I know.
That was really sad.
I haven't cast with you yet.
That was sad. That was terrible.
I've got to welcome the summer split with a pun, you know.
That's fine. So H2K, and yeah, I'm just going to move on here. And Schalke, not only do we have these compositions who love to teamfight late game, and it's very standard, right? Keystones are looked at in the loading screen. Standard. Nothing really stands out. No one is running double TP either. We have exhaust on Rio. We have heal on the Viktor as well. I mean...
So what about lanes versus non-standard lanes? Do you think anybody really wants to avoid getting into a specific matchup?
No, I mean, you can lane basically everything here. Ekko does have a slight advantage early on against Maokai. Caitlyn straight up against the Sivir as well is better for the Caitlyn. Yeah. But then you have the Braum who can assist a little bit more unless the Alistar can then all in with the Caitlyn, obviously on the Sivir. So I think you can lane basically everything here, but there are small advantages to gain. Mid lane as well. Azir tends to push into Viktor, just slightly in the early game. Viktor then gets his first Hex core, he can push it back. And then we basically look at the junglers. Like, it is about the junglers in the early game. Whichever lane they decide to gank, that's where we can start to see some snowballing.
Let's find out which lane that will be, Deficio. We are finally loading up here onto the Rift for the final series of Week 1 here in Europe. And of course, it is H2K taking on Schalke. Schalke looking to go undefeated in their first week. It would really, really make the team happy, considering the struggles that the squad had in the spring split.
Right, but a team who in the spring split also started really... Oh, I want to talk about this. This is the level 1 Schalke did yesterday, where they try and push the enemy mid laner back to his tower, so there's no vision behind the Viktor, and then the Braum and his AD carry can sneak into this bush and try and surprise people, because they don't actually see them. If you stand in that little banana bush here and scout as an H2K member, you just see the entrance down to the river. You wouldn't actually see people snuck in through the mid lane bush. This time around, no one was waiting, but yesterday Move was sitting there, had to then flash away, and then died later on because he had no flash from level 1. So it actually is a planned strategy that the Viktor goes so aggressive straight away. It's not just for fun. It is simply to make sure no one can see what's happening behind the Viktor, and you can sneak into these bushes with the Braum.
I like that. I like seeing some of these adaptations and then figuring out the counter, predicting those moves.
Yeah, but your opponent wait at that banana bush and then you're fine.
Hey, it's one of those things you got to look at. Taking a quick look through the lane assignments. H2K, they seem to have initiated this lane swap. No deep vision for either squad. And MrRalleZ and sprattel, they are now going to head down to the bottom. And we've got ourselves a lane swap.
Yes, and I would like to welcome you to Stream 1, Trevor. Here we get Cloud Drakes. And the first one is a Cloud Drake as well. And that's how it works on this stream. You know, yesterday, out of all Drakes, we got Cloud Drake the most in the EU LCS, 11 times. Second most was Mountain with 9, if I remember 100% correct.
Yep.
Otherwise, Spelzy is going to yell at me, and I will correct myself in about 30 seconds time.
There is one thing, though, that feels like a long time ago. Because
it is.
8 games have been played between then and now, and I've personally seen at least 6 Infernals. So today is all about those Infernal Drakes.
Except for here with Cloud.
Oh, okay, so this game, but as mentioned, there's 8. You don't have to be. You don't have to be 100% right.
I'm just trying to shoot you down. That's all.
Well, Freeze is trying to shoot this tower down. Gonna have the support of Odoamne. He's gonna get up here, probably a little bit ahead of Steve, who is joining MrRalleZ and sprattel, and you know, all standard here in terms of this 3v0 lane swap.
And I was so wrong, Trevor. I just got it in my ear right here. There's only been 1 Cloud Drake today in this stream.
There you go.
So,
there you
I
go.
lied to everyone.
You know, I was saying there was Infernals. You didn't want to give me the chance to get to it.
I've learned not to trust your opinion, Trevor.
Fair enough. I can understand. I can understand that. I'll let it go.
I'm just lying.
But it's Officio who's going to get the advantage here in terms of tempo. H2K
basically even at the moment, because you need to wait for these minions to die anyway, so it's going to be so close, all about how fast your AD carry support can recall. Schalke is actually staying, making sure this tower dies, and therefore they actually get the assist goal from it as well, but the same on top side, so not a whole lot dying at the same time. Sometimes we see lane swaps now, not specifically to dodge matchups, but because you want to have your bottom lane on the bottom side once the second tier 1 tower dies. And you just kill that tower and you potentially set up an early dragon for yourself. And it's something we can see more of when it's like Infernal Drakes or Mountain Drakes. Cloud obviously is not the exciting one, but I guess it's something.
Yeah. Something that people will fight over is what I've learned today. First backs off the towers have got Freeze has grabbed himself that Cull, and MrRalleZ has gone for Boots Longsword, so a slight difference in approach in terms of itemization here. Nothing really else to speak of. Second Dawn's Ring for Fox's Viktor, and the top laners still just doing the best they can to get XP and farm. Traditional Steve just marginally behind in XP.
Standard draft, standard keystone, standard lane swap so far. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy going on. And we're Schalke now, Trevor. Because they played so well yesterday, and then Unicorns beat OG today. So suddenly it's not like OG are just... Oh, sorry, Unicorns are just completely lost, right? No, as Schalke actually played well and they deserved the 2-0. I just want to see a series where it doesn't even matter if Schalke wins for me. It matters how well they play and how many mistakes they make. Because last split with Elements, they made so many of these mistakes. We just kept going like, why? Like, how did you mess that up? And then they fell behind and lost and did nothing, right? Yesterday, they didn't make those mistakes. And I want to see a series now from Schalke where it's a lot cleaner, close, matching up against H2K. And we get to see a more consistent team.
All right, consistency is what we're looking for. And sprattel, as well as the rest of Schalke, they've got to this top outer turret. I think a little bit behind H2K. I feel like H2K will have a slight damage advantage, but it's 3 members of Schalke on that top tower.
And that's the thing, right? You can wait as a top lane and get a few more minions, but then obviously you will be later on joining your team on the other side of the map when you have to take that tower. So even though H2K was slightly faster in the push because it was 3 on the side of Schalke, it will even out again. We keep the standard. No one gets a massive advantage just yet. Experience from top laners to keep you guys updated on a very exciting thing is so close to the defense, like 1 minion advantage for Steve at this point.
Well, 10 CS for Odoamne to 8 CS on Steve. Levels 3 each. Again, it's just standard. You know, there's nothing we're seeing here that is amazingly proactive, and nothing that is amazingly wrong either. So both teams just got to find their groove. One thing I didn't mention, Vander running the Flash Ignite on his support, Ryu, Flash Exhaust, Fox, Flash Heal. So single teleports on both sides. Seen quite a bit of double teleports throughout the week. So it's quite interesting that both mid laners opted away from it. Obviously, Viktor, not your most amazing TP mid laner.
It's not too exciting as a Viktor or an Azir to TP in and join a fight specifically, but some trading going on. Yeah,
pretty heavy trading. Gravity Field, Chaos Storm. Fox is going all in, gets the stun. Chaos Storm continues to chase down. Ryu might get 1v1. Siphon power! First blood for Fox. Jankos arrives to follow it up.
And while Ryu would have gotten the kill anyway, because obviously Viktor was on the tower here, Ryu just stayed. and got stunned. That was really poorly played by Ryu. I'm almost 99% sure he could have walked out of it. Anyhow, early kills, and it's something that Schalke did yesterday as well. A lot of action around mid lane, and always send members in to make sure you have 2 or 3 guys if a gank trap. Let's see, okay, Ryu is trading, so he's staying still. He just stays on the edge of it. Like, why? One more step, man, one more step. Obviously here the tower would most likely have secured him the kill anyway. Jankos comes in and helps his team and secures an assist for Ryu at least.
That he does. An additional flash blown on the side of H2K, so Jankos without that summer spell. And Odoamne and Steve, they're finally going toe-to-toe. Got themselves access to some solo lanes, and you know, Steve really stepped up yesterday. Had some very good games.
Steve had the best day ever for him, because his mid lane and jungler were just killing everything, and he was just kind of farming on the tank. Then he joins a team fight and he gets a few kills. And we're like, right, well, pretty good day for Steve. Didn't really have to do anything, but we know the viewers, they like to learn. They like to watch these pro gamers and pick up on stuff they can use in solo queues. So Ryu here taught you guys that do not stand in the stun of Viktor. Just move out of it, otherwise you will probably die.
Gilius gets caught out by Odoamne. Ryu slides in and punishes Gilius for trying to go for that blue buff steal. Down the bottom lane, MrRalleZ and sprattel, they're on the tower.
Yeah, I think Schalke maybe expected 2 H2K members to be on bottom side because they were pushing in with MrRalleZ and sprattel, and then Gilius tries to steal a buff even though his team isn't there to back him up. Gets punished. And H2K, slow and steady for them. Early kill for Jankos. Early kill for Odoamne, and despite Ryu obviously dying, nothing has gone terribly wrong.
When you look at the big picture, H2K are still up in global gold. Farming relatively well, small advantages here and there. Jankos only little sizable one, +10 over Gilius. And obviously the kills are going to help him out as well.
But again, this is what we talked about in Champs. Like, it's going to be one of these games where we probably won't see like super crazy action for a good 20 minutes, but then we start getting 2 items towards the 3rd item, and then we're going to get these big team fights. And don't worry, there will be a lot of kills happening.
Yeah, the moment Fox got level 7 or level 8 that was, he was able to instantly turn around on Ryu. Fox had fallen behind in CS in that matchup.
So we need that hex core as well.
By the way, Ryu, Vander, and Jankos, they're just having a chill, you know. Got some s'mores out, chilling with, looking for an opportunity, but it's down bottom where some shenanigans could come down. MrRalleZ eats a 90 caliber, Freeze is going to run for his life, Flash is used, heal is used, Steve teleports in, Odo's joined the fight as well, but it's MrRalleZ that picks up the second for Schalke. Now Schalke turn their attention to Odoamne. Chrono Break is available for Odo. Follow the ghost, he can jump
on the wrong
back
side.
in. The rest of H2K look to re-engage. Vander does not have Unbreakable Will. Vengeful Maelstrom from Steve. They root the cow. The cow flashes away. Odo Chrono Breaks to stay alive for a few seconds longer before Steve is taken down. Things have got messy, but it's Schalke that have got themselves 2 already. The Sand Soldiers fly forward, shutting down MrRalleZ as Jankos picks up another, this time onto Gilius. Fox is going to run for his life. Lamb's Respite buys some time. The Death Ray tags Jankos and Ryu, but it's not enough for more. 3 for 2. Eat the chair. Jankos is running out of mana. Not enough for a dance, I don't think, and a zap and a pew. Fox gets the kill.
So it's H2K trying to set up a trap in the mid lane, but Schalke already gone down to the bottom side. They catch out Freeze very early. You can see the rest of H2K is in the river, and now Schalke is saying we just need to fully commit for this. If we kill the AD carry, the rest of our team is already here, and then we can still win the fight despite fighting in minions, despite the fact that Azir can put up a tower as well when he joins. So they're basically just swapped around here. Nowhere to go for Schalke but to fight their way out, basically.
I'm glad that they did. Gave us a very extended team fight. Schalke end the entire trade in a 4 for 3. They still come out in a better situation, but Ryu did so much damage to Fisher.
Yeah, a lot of damage, and then gets to put up the tower as well, but not enough in the end because a Viktor on full HP can just keep chasing, and we said, you know, there's gonna be a lot of team fights. I didn't expect it to be this early, but we'll take it.
Hey, you said 20 minutes, we got it at 10.
Yeah, we got it.
I'm very happy with that. Right, we jump out of the replay. 5 kills to 5. Gold is even. The first dragon will be picked up here by Jankos, completely uncontested. And if you look down the scoreboard, 2 kills for Ryu, 2 kills for Jankos, that's single for Odo, versus 3 for Fox. So a little bit scary if Fox can get a good Chaos Storm down.
Yeah, I think if we look at, again, this 20-minute, 25-minute mark and the big team fights we're going to see there, These early kills will definitely benefit Schalke more, because 3 of them is straight on the Viktor. If you get him straight to 2 items, and then obviously even more later, he just becomes such a monster very, very quickly. He wants to get that early, fully upgraded Hex core, which is expensive, obviously, to get. But once you have it, again, the ulti is so powerful. MrRalleZ as well getting a kill. Definitely fine for Schalke that Steve only gets assist, and same for Gilius. You don't need your Elise to be fed. She's just going to be a tank late game anyway. And a much weaker tank than the likes of Maokai, the likes of Ekko, so you become more of the CC machine. But great for Schalke to get so many early kills on that mid laner. 2,000 gold he's recalling with now.
CC machine, very useful when Gilius is hitting a cocoon, which he has been doing in his last few performances. So Tower is under a lot of pressure. Fox has been unable to recall, so despite the 2,000 gold, unable to convert that into actual combat stats. And I took a quick look at the Dragon Pit. The next one will be Mountain. As you see Jankos and Vander, they're going to be scouting out the area. Jankos grabs himself a mark of the Kindred. I think that's his second one. On his way to Devour, and there you go. Hex core upgraded, spending all that
13 minutes in. I mean, that is quick. You just fully upgraded on this Viktor, and again, it's because his ulti is so extremely powerful at this point, and you need to stay on targets, because it keeps ticking every 2 seconds for the full 6-second duration. And when you then have someone who can run away from it, obviously you don't get the full value of your ulti, but because it's faster, you're not going to run anywhere, and it will, if you stay in it, destroy you in the late game.
A lot of damage to play with on the side of Schalke. Odo is going to jump under Steve. One of those saplings comes out. Steve is going to get cut down where he stands. Running out of mana means the Maelstrom time. Ooh. Defensive flash!
And that's
he makes it! Flash failure from both of them!
Oh my God!
Hashtag LCS, big plays. That's a big wall.
Steve even showed where to flash over the wall. You can't do it everywhere on that wall. That's why he flashes at the right moment. The rest of H2K could literally walk to that spot and flashed as well, but they just kept moving around. At least there was coordination. Face planning at the same time.
That was an oopsie.
Yeah, I see where you kind of walk away and just laugh at it, but...
I have to ask the analyst desk for PGL to maybe do a replay of that one. We'll see whether or not we can get that wish to come true. Fox flashes over the Emperor's Divide after Ryu's engage. It trades summoner spells 1 for 1 as the mid lane tower gets chunked down. Jankos takes a massive damage from that Death Ray and Boomerang play. Schalke, very successful siege without even having a full minion wave.
Keep in mind, they have flash advantage after what happened on the top side. And also, they just have the better positioning coming in, forcing a H2K way. I like how Schalke is setting it up. They're not going straight for the dive. They're just saying, basically, we can't dive you, so you have to now step away from your tower, and we can just slowly but surely hit your tower and take it down. So just very smart play. And again, something we didn't see from the Schalke team in the last split. They would have ran straight into that tower dive and just gone crazy. Or they would have done the opposite and actually never engaged in anything, and we would have stand here for 40 minutes, and we would have like 1 kill.
You sound really salty about the spring splits, but...
I'm just so happy to see a change. You know, I like when
progression
teams are realizing their mistakes, also making a good roster change, and then coming in more prepared, playing much better. It makes me happy, but I just sound salty because I'm a very negative person.
That makes sense. Now we need to continue to look at this performance, because the Viktor into Azir matchup was one that we knew was going to do well in the mid game for Viktor. But Schalke need to make use of this advantage they have, because as the game continues to play out, Ryu's going to start completing some of these recipes and continue to grow and continue to be a major, major threat for Schalke.
Right, and one of the things Azir can do in the mid game has kind of been taken away from Ryu, because we've actually had more action going on in other lanes. Because normally, again, in this matchup, Azir can set up these shuffles where he forces a flash from the Viktor, and then you gank him a second time, and then you kill him when he has no flash. You can't do that when it's constant fighting in side lanes, and also fighting against Steve.
That's a very aggressive play from Vander. He flashed over the wall. Fox comes in to try save Steve's life. Steve's in trouble, down to 200 hit points, and it's Jankos that picks up the kill.
Look at the bottom lane.
H2K threw everything at the kill, and they will lose themselves a tower, but get an outer in reply.
Yeah, definitely worth it here for H2K, catching Steve when he's moving down from the top lane. Rest of Schalke on the bottom side, obviously not expecting H2K to wait in their jungle. Mid tower again taking more damage. Rest of Schalke is on their way. Steve does have teleport in 5 seconds.
5 seconds
and
for
Freeze is
Steve
gone.
to come to life. Freeze is not even there. This
H2K needs to run.
be a 5v4. H2K puts the tower down. They're going to fight on the Sunders, and they have to make this work.
Oh,
Fox is caught, gets pushed into the gravity field. That'll stun up some of H2K, but Fox is already down before the storm can come out. There's RalleZ from the sideline. Steve's in trouble. Gilius is in trouble. Here comes sprattel. They've traded mid laners, but Steve is already dead. He TP'd in just to get cut down. 1 for 2.
Ryu saved the day. That play was so important for H2K because it was a 5v4. Yes, okay, there was a turret being set up by H2K, but still, Schalke could have engaged in. No AD carry for H2K even close by. But because of this move from Ryu, they take down the Viktor so early. Rest of Schalke can't react in time. Look at RalleZ as well, pathing around the tower here. In the end, he can't really decide where to go. And suddenly H2K comes out ahead, even though Freeze is still in the river. He's running. I don't think he will even join to get a single hit down. Nope. He got a heal, though. He has
Not a heal.
Put a heal. Ah, he got 1 hit in the end. Well done, Freeze.
Not a huge amount of damage to work with. We've not mentioned it yet, but Freeze only Hurricane and Pickaxe. So he's still trying to get himself to a comfortable position. Takes some time. But luckily, for H2K, Ryu does a very good job. Gilius and sprattel put damage down into Vander. There's no unbreakable will, so this might be a kill. No! The minion taxi over the wall. Vander's able to save his own life.
I'm not a smart man, Trevor. I just got some tea and I instantly started drinking it, and it's really hot.
It's been a long day for you, Fisher, hasn't it? I think I can feel it. There's that Mountain Drake at spawn. Schalke will get their hands into this one. No contest from side of H2K.
All right, I'm back.
Schalke continue to even out this game. They've got an additional tower over their opponents. They'll even out those dragons is what I was trying to get at.
Such a hero play before, though, from Ryu. Also the most fed member from Schalke he managed to take out before the fight even starts. I like how twice now we've had these big team fights already, where you're trying to catch people when they're basically further towards your base than their own, and they have nowhere to run. They just have to fight their way out. Even if you don't want to fight, you don't have a choice. And then we get some of these small outplays, big outplays even in the case of Ryu here.
Yeah.
A lot of action already. We're not even 20 minutes in. So
19 minutes in. This time around, I think there's enough damage to kill the Herald. I've seen it been attempted in this time frame multiple times. Going to run out of time. This time it will be secured. So H2K, secure their Herald, donate that one to Odo. And you can use that to help continue bullying Steve out. Got that Iceborne Gauntlet, got a bunch of stacks on his curse seal as well.
Yeah, and the main reason Odoamne wants it here is not even specifically for the one-on-one against Maokai, because 5% damage reduction against the Maokai at this point doesn't matter that much. It's more actually for the extra damage he gets on towers, because the proc he gets, like, should we call it like a discount static shift proc or whatever. It actually works on towers. Decent bonus damage for him, so if he's sitting in a side lane, he gets onto a tower, he does have a bit more presence here. And obviously taking that Rift Held, you didn't lose anything, because you had full river control and it was about to disappear anyway, so you just get it for free. There's a 20-minute buff where Odoamne now is a little bit more annoying if he gets to a tower, and that is basically the only benefit he's going to get from it, but it's enough.
Can hopefully open up some options for H2K. They are down a tower in the bigger picture. Taking a look at the items, we've gone over 20 minutes. Gold is still very close, 2,000 difference. 1,000 difference rather. And Locket of the Iron Slow picked up for Gilius. Gonna go that tank support route. BF Sword picked up for Freeze, so he's starting to be more relevant with those Hurricane Bolts. And of course, Ryu, he's got 2 items complete, the RalleZ as well as the Nashers. So even more damage to back up those hero plays.
Yeah, and the best possible build for an Azir, exactly what he likes to do. It always hurts for an Azir if he has to go Abyssal Scepter now, one as the first or second item. Not the greatest DPS from that after some of the changes to it. So definitely a good choice from Ryu, and funny enough, a bit like with the composition, nothing really standing out, but this is different. Early Baron being started by H2K, no vision from Schalke at all. Have one blue trinket on the mid laner, but he's not even moving. Sprattel is coming.
This is going to be risky. Lamb's Spikes has come down. The ward will reveal 2,000 hit points. H2K should be able to secure it, and they do completely sneak away the Baron at 21 minutes.
And Schalke didn't even feel like they could commit. They had the ward down for Steve to TP2, but probably feeling the rest of the team were too far away. Even though ulti been used from Jankos, H2K was low, very early Baron going down. And that is massive, because the comps are so close again in terms of the team fighting, getting such a big advantage from a free Baron, basically.
Immediately following the Rift Herald, setting up the vision for that play, pushing in that portion of the jungle. And looking at H2K's inventory, a load of pink wards backed up as well. So anywhere they want to push with these Baron empowered minions, they're going to be able to leave some vision behind, create so many more risks for Schalke to work through.
Yeah, and so much of this control around the Baron just comes from the fact that H2K won that last fight. And okay, they have the Ekko who can push in the Maokai quite a bit, force him to sit on a tier 2 tower. They have Azir, Caitlyn, who very early can reach waves and just instant push them in as well. And just get that river control, which allowed them to sneak a Baron. The rest of Schalke is now in that annoying spot where Caitlyn gets to set up her traps. If you ever want to walk in and properly wave clear, you're going to eat one of the traps and you're going to get poked down, and then suddenly you're back in base. And then you just have to, you can never meet the mini wave early. You have to let it hit your tower, and that always gives H2K time to hit your tower as well. Just can be 5 seconds, but that's enough to get it low, and then you'll get it on second wave.
Always allows H2K to chip damage. But look at the minimap. So the mid tower was just secured by H2K. Rotate bottom. There's a gigantic minion wave building up at the top. So if H2K are able to knock this one down, they can swing over. Or alternatively, the moment Schalke show their face, cut them off, get to that top tower, and easily pick up yet another objective.
It's a classic H2K style from Spring Split as well. You just managed to play this rotation game extremely effective after getting your Baron. Freeze is on the bottom side away from the rest of the team, but they don't need him. They have Baron buff minions. All of Schalke have to take a longer route to go around and defend towers, so nothing they can really do at this point. Have to just wait out the Baron, and suddenly you find yourself 5k gold behind.
And now we test Schalke's ability to play from behind. Oh, didn't kill all of them. The truly great teams are able to stop giving up additional objectives and gold when and where possible. And now we see how good can Schalke defend. You know, how well do they play from behind, how well do they hold on to their inhibitor turrets, and more importantly, will they be able to prevent making those mistakes that cost games in the spring split? Like,
I mean,
not warding Baron, for example.
Yeah, they made one there. I guess you can say they made another one at that fight in the mid lane where we saw Ryu with that great catch as well before the fight even started. Steve is now finding himself pretty overextended.
Yeah, flash very early actually. We'll continue to chase. Odo's Time Winder should be up shortly. He's going to be able to just phase down.
Not going to work, guys.
1,500. Still hasn't put down the Maelstrom because it's already been used. Steve is killed. H2K have got themselves their 9th kill of the game. Chaos Storm comes out here for Foxes. Ryu's going to look for a slide and glide. Opts not to follow his soldiers through. Looking at flashes blown. Freeze and Vander, all 4 summoners, just to take down Steve, but it will open up this tower. Odo's hiding in the wings. Not done yet. Dashes onto Gilius. That will be enough to secure the objective.
Last outer turret gone. There's not really a whole lot to say, because H2K is just playing this extremely safe, and Steve obviously overextended, goes down, gives up another tower. Mountain Drake, a lot of benefit now. H2K great in the mid game, where you have to start pushing down these objectives, but sadly for H2K, I guess they already got 6 towers down. Yes. So now they just need it for inhibs.
Well, it'll help for the rest of the dragons and the rest of the next Baron, for example.
And a great dragon when you are ahead, because then it is about pushing towers. It is about getting some of these objectives like the Barons, where Mountain Drake helps. And now we wait. A trap has been set.
I don't think we're going to have to wait too long, because Ryu is already throwing Steve.
Yeah, that doesn't really work.
Out. Steve is going to use the Twisted Advance, but look at those Sand Soldiers. Vander will hold him in place to serve up another kill to H2K. It looked good though, just for a moment.
I liked it.
Just for a moment. H2K are going to break open the base here. 5v4 for 30 seconds. There's not a lot Schalke can do. The Yordle snap traps have been put down. Odo dashes over the wall. Sets his sights on Fox. Parallel convergence, not going to stun anyone yet. The Chaos Storm will send them back. RalleZ just gets chunked down. So much damage, and Freeze completely uncontested, hammering away on the inhibitor.
Oh, Freeze is in the game, right. Barely even noticed him, because he's actually just been farming side lanes. And then he's been joining the team the few times they need him to kill like a Baron or kill a tower. It's been a job for Freeze in this game here. So the rest of H2K has just been playing the same style we are so used to. Ryu The man setting up a trap, something he obviously, of course, loves to do. Sometimes will get punished for it, but this one, it's against the Maokai. Cute little thing in the start, but then RalleZ, Ashes, underfed Maokai.
Yeah.
Easy kill for Ryu.
Hey, it was 2v1. Means it's not fair.
It's true.
That's
and Steve was also level 12 at the time, 15.
See, there you
Unfair
go.
as well.
He's still struggling to find his way in. Only got the Spirit Visage, Barmy Cinder, Warden's Man. So like, bits and pieces. But it's the story of the game. Schalke are 7,000 gold down. They've only got the inhibitor turrets in top, the middle lane. They've got supers to deal with in the bottom lane. And they're in even more trouble because Gilius has been caught. He's repelled up. There's no minions to go to. Gravity Field will split up H2K a little. Sprattel's gone very aggressive. Odo's Chrono Break backwards, but this might be a tight fight. H2K have already used Lamb's Respite. Vander's going low. We'll get the heal from the ulti as Steve is chunked down. On the backline, Odo's kept all of Schalke busy. And Freeze is being chunked up by the Chaos Storm. Not going to be enough to get any kills. And Schalke get away with just losing one, but they expended their teleport as well.
Yeah, again, Schalke need to use everything every time there is a fight.
Oh!
Not stepping in. Trying to check with the laser. H2K now waiting for Baron to respawn. They already have the control, and we're not done yet here. Oh, we are done. He's just going to kill the ward. But close enough fight. Showing what we maybe could have seen more of if it wasn't for that massive advantage H2K now built up with all the towers going down. Gilius getting caught out at first, but then it's actually a good setup for Schalke going in, blocking a massive area in the jungle with the Braum ulti. They all get to stand and hit the front line. No one in the back line of Schalke is really under any threat. And then obviously your tank goes down. We see the ulti from her. We see the damage from the Viktor. We see the ulti. But now, just back to Baron for H2K. Not the same situation as before where they had to sneak it and were almost even in gold. They got, I don't know how many towers from that. 4 at least. 5 maybe.
Yes. 7,000 gold down. That's where Schalke find themselves. Trying to defend. Steve a little low because he's dealing with some of his minions. Ooh, that was a flash already. Gilius is going to die. Yeah, repels up for a few seconds. Wow! Damage from Fox is good. Gilius is able to repel down and managed to make his way out. RalleZ being protected by Sprattel, the unbreakable shield buying time. Fox will be the sacrifice. Yeah, he's caught out on the wrong side of the wall. Ryu sends Steve back. Steve will try get away with a twisted advance, but you cannot escape the hands of H2K. Odo phase dives forward to pick up the 4th kill of the fight, and H2K can get into the base. This looks like it's going to be the first Nexus in the series.
Control game from H2K. Ever since they got that Baron, they played the early team fights well. And a classic H2K performance.
Absolutely the case. Play the game, the map.
Play the game
side
too.
lanes, get the ace, kill the base. H2K 1-0 in the series.